Hey everyone, it's January 2026 and I decided to take profit on my silver position, my physical silver position. I bought that position in August of 2021 and I had purchased 7 100-ounce bars at the time, which I used the money. I sold my first home in 2021 and I used a good portion of that profit and put it into silver in the mid to low 20s. So I sat in that position for a little over 4 years, and I saw it go from, where I bought it down to 18 in 2022, 2023, and eventually look at it now. It touched $93, and so I decided it would be smart of me to move some of that money, and I took the profit on 200 ounces, which was 2 bars of the 7 I bought. And I decided the best thing for me to do was to recapture my original investment and to put that into, basically layer that into my current silver mining portfolio. And I did that because I don't believe silver's at a top. I believe silver is going higher. I believe silver is going to be going to hundreds of dollars an ounce in the next, let's just say, a couple of years. It's going to be, $300-400 an ounce. This bull market is a major cycle, so we're nowhere near a top. But I need to add into my silver mining position because they are barely moving. They have essentially not repriced themselves for the current silver spot price, and I believe that price is going to keep going up, so that the more that goes up, the more undervalued these miners become. And so I decided it would be best for me to do that is to take my original investment, which is roughly $18,000 to $20,000, and to recapture that, which I did, and I'm moving that into these silver miners. And I want to say that I did that at about 200% gain. So I bought those bars for roughly $2,500 a piece, and I sold them for about $8,500 a piece. So I sold them at a local dealer, which was a much better price than SD Bullion, JM Bullion. They're in the high 70s, really low 80s. And so I decided it would be best to just convert locally here. Anyways, so I made a pretty nice profit on those 2 bars, and I was initially, when I bought this silver, thinking I would hold all 7 bars the whole way up, but I've recently come to understand that it's a much smarter move to take some profit and recuperate my initial investment, which I've not only practiced that today when I made this move, but I've done that for a couple other investing assets. I think it's a smart move to do that, and I want to encourage you now in this video to do that. If you are up in something, in a position, it could be a stock, it could be, selling your home, it could be taking that profit you've seen on any asset and capturing some of it by selling a portion, or selling the whole thing. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I had sold my first home in 2021 for roughly almost 75% gain on my home value. So I took a very nice profit on that, and I captured it by selling my home. I have another home now, so I reinvested a lot of that into another home, but I also invested it into this silver. So it's important to capture your profit because it can come down. And I think it's smart to always recapture your original investment, because now the rest of that profit you have is just riding out. It's riding into the sunset, and your risk has gone down substantially for that position. And I think it's a really smart move to do that, because now you have this capital which you didn't have to work for again. If I wanted to go out and make another 20 grand, I have to work for that. In this case, I'm just recapturing it. It's money back in my pocket that I can now deploy somewhere else. And so I think it's a smart move for you to adopt that mentality of recapturing your investment. And of course, you don't want to just sit in cash. You want to have a plan before you do this of where you're going to put it. And so I decided, because of a couple other ratios I watched, that junior silver miners have barely moved. They've moved a little bit with the appreciation of silver, but they're far behind at this point. And as silver is appreciating in a parabolic move, that revaluation of these miners, it gets even more dramatic because they're so far behind at this point. And silver is not done. It's gonna keep going up. It's gonna keep going up to $200, $300 or more. And these miners are so cheap right now. It makes sense for me to do that. And I'm not saying that's financial advice for anybody. I'm just saying that based on the charts that I'm watching, you can try to optimize that position, that entry position, to try to get as many shares as possible. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying I have a chunk of money and I'm going to start moving it into these positions I already hold. And I believe that return will be greater than the 200 ounces would have stayed in silver, physical silver. And so, anyways, I just want to make that video to give you an update on what I'm doing. And this is not financial advice. It's just what I believe is a smart move as an investor, is to look at your positions you hold and think about where you might be able to get a better result. And I'm not saying the only option is silver miners. That's just something that I'd like to stay in silver, but divert funds into a different asset class of just the equities. So anyways, let's see what happens with physical silver. I think we're going to continue to see fireworks. But the reason I chose to sell now is because I think $100 is likely a psychological mark for a lot of people, and we're going to see some volatility in that area. We might see a pullback, and in that case, it'd be even better place to start buying miners, or even buy some more physical. So, anyways, thanks for listening.